What is going on, everybody? It's Alex back with another video, and today I want to talk about World War Z. For those of you that don't know, this is a co-op zombie game that also has a PvP multiplayer aspect to it. If you've heard about this game before, you've probably heard it compared to Left 4 Dead, and honestly, there are a lot of comparisons. It is a very similar format. I will say I don't really get any Left 4 Dead vibes while actually playing it, but you're playing with 4 people, you loot for weapons in the same exact way that you would in Left 4 Dead, you kill large amounts of zombies while progressing through a story, and then the mission ends. Honestly, really the only difference is Left 4 Dead is more of a goofy, over-the-top type game where this is more serious. But that's not to say that this is copying Left 4 Dead, and that's also not to say this is a bad game, because I will say I'm actually very surprised by this game. I do want to thank Epic Games for actually giving me access to this game, and if you guys want to purchase the game for yourself, make sure to use the link I have down in the description to give me a little bit of a kickback. Unfortunately, it's not a discount code, it won't actually save you any money, but I will make 5% of your purchase, so if you guys are gonna buy it, make sure to at least use somebody's support a creator code. That would be awesome. Honestly, this game kind of came out of nowhere. It seemed like the marketing for it started basically right before the launch, and then everyone was playing it already. Honestly, this wasn't a game that I was really looking forward to. I figured if I got it, I would just kind of pick it up, play it for a little bit, and then kind of put it down. But honestly, after a few hours with the game, I think I'm going to be playing this quite a bit. Honestly, this feels like a full AAA title, which is very awesome because you get that vibe and then you realize that it's only $35. And normally when I do review videos like this, I would start with the good things and then move on to the bad, but honestly, there aren't really bad things I'm noticing right now. Again, this is only with a few hours in the game. I haven't sat down for weeks on end playing the game, but after a few hours, I have things to say that are really good, and then I have things to say that are just okay, but I really don't have anything bad to say. I think to most players, the most important thing about a game other than obviously story would be the graphics, especially if you're not into esports. With a co-op zombie experience, I'm definitely worried about graphics, and I have to say this game definitely doesn't disappoint. It's definitely not going to be winning any awards for the most beautiful game ever. It's not Red Dead Redemption 2, it's not a Far Cry game. However, it is very beautiful. The lighting effects are really nice, the details are pretty good, the shadows, everything is solid. It is a very good looking game. Also, I was very impressed with the amount of moving objects they have on the screen. I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds of zombies at the same time, all really fast attacking you. I was really wondering how the performance would be. And once again, I'm pleasantly surprised that the performance is actually really solid. I do have a pretty powerful PC, but nothing too crazy, and unfortunately there is no option to actually have an FPS counter, so I don't know what I'm getting. I'm definitely averaging well over 100 FPS with max setting. And even when I was recording the gameplay that you guys are watching right now, I didn't really notice a tank in performance. It still ran really well. So if you're worried about being able to run this game on low-end PCs, I would say if you can run games, you can probably run this game. As I mentioned before, the play loop is very similar to a game like Left 4 Dead. You start in with basic weapons. As you progress through, there will be weapons caches and ammo resupplies and stuff like that where you can upgrade your arsenal. You have a series of objectives where you're traversing through the map, completing challenges, and then at the end, there will be some kind of evac point where the mission ends. When it comes to the story so far, there's nothing too crazy. There's no crazy memorable characters or anything like this. It's not going to be anyone's favorite campaign ever, but that doesn't mean that it's not a very enjoyable experience, because it is. I've just been playing with random people in the matchmaking, but I have to say, if I had friends playing this, it would be a lot of fun. Just running through the missions and causing chaos, it would be really awesome. Also, something kind of interesting, I haven't really delved into it a whole lot yet, but there's skill trees for every class. So this is a class-based games. You have Gunslinger, Hellraiser, Medic, Fixer, Slasher, Exterminator, all of these things, and basically what they do is it determines what kind of special gadgets you have and the starting weapons that you have. As you progress through missions, you earn currency, and you're able to spend this currency on upgrades to work on your skill tree. Now, these skills can do anything from allowing your Molotovs to do more damage, increasing health, increasing magazine size. Honestly, they can do anything, but they're all really unique and really cool. Going back to playing with friends, this will really be awesome because you can optimize your classes and then actually be more effective together by creating a solid team. Honestly, the way they do the skill tree and the unlocks and everything, it really reminds me a lot of Borderlands. So the entire campaign comprises of 4 different episodes, including 11 different missions. Every episode follows different characters and different locations, including New York, Jerusalem, Moscow, and Tokyo. As of the time of recording, I've only played in New York, but I can't wait to get to Moscow and Tokyo. I feel like just the scenery and the way this game looks will be amazing in these areas. Also, something something of note is the game seems very polished. Yes, it runs well, it's optimized, but also I'm not really noticing a lot of glitches. There aren't zombies, you know, that won't die. There's not people on the ground twitching. I've ran through quite a few missions and I've put a lot of time in the game, and honestly, I haven't really seen one single glitch. Coming from a $35 game that kind of felt like it was rushed out there, I'm very impressed. So moving on to the multiplayer, I honestly figured this would just be something kind of slapped onto the campaign to make it look like there's more content, and then it wouldn't really be all that good. In case you haven't picked up on the theme of the video, I was very surprised. They actually seem to put a lot of thought and effort into the game modes and the maps and everything that they're doing with the games, because I've had a lot of fun on these multiplayer matches. So there are 5 different game modes that you can play, consisting of Swarm Domination, King of the Hill, Swarm Deathmatch, Scavenge Raid, and Vaccine Hunt. Honestly, they play a lot like a third-person Call of Duty, except there's the PvE aspect that we're not used to. So Swarm Domination is basically exactly what you would expect. There are 3 zones that you need to capture. Once your team captures a zone, it starts earning you points, and the first to the designated point total wins. Like I said, it is very similar to Call of Duty, except there's the PvE aspect where hordes of zombies infiltrate the map every few minutes. And this adds for a crazy twist that I find so enjoyable. Moving on to King of the Hill, it's exactly as you would expect once again. There will be a zone that moves around the map that basically you have to hold. If your team is holding it, you earn points. If the opposing team is holding it, they are earning points. First one to the total wins. Needless to say, while the 2 teams are battling out, there will be hordes of zombies trying to kill you. Swarm Deathmatch, I don't think I really have to explain that. Team versus team, most kills wins, and also, yes, there's zombies trying to kill you as well. Next, we have Scavenge Raid, which is actually a completely different game mode. So in this game mode, you collect resources scattered around the map or take them from fallen enemies to earn points for a team victory. Finally, with my favorite game mode, we have Vaccine Hunt. This is very similar to King of the Hill, except instead of a stationary zone, you have to hold an object. This object being the vaccine. Basically how this works is a vaccine will spawn on the map. Everyone will race to pick it up, and whoever picks it up will start earning points. Their team will start earning points. The longer you hold it, the more points you earn. And then obviously if they're killed, the vaccine is dropped and the other team has the option to pick it up and start earning points themselves. I've noticed that actually all of these game modes play really well, and I don't even really have that much of a preference. Yes, I like Vaccine Hunt, but everything else is still a lot of fun. So just like the campaign, this is a class-based game, and there are a lot of classes to play with the multiplayer, actually different classes. All of these classes consisting of a primary weapon, a secondary weapon, equipment, and a heavy weapon. Obviously, your primary weapon is going to be the weapon you use the most. It's typically going to be the longest range weapon. It's going to deal the most damage. And then the secondary weapon will just be your backup in case you run out of ammo, or if you have a shotgun, maybe it'll be better for close range encounters. Now, your equipment varies dramatically between classes, and it can be anything from a Molotov to a supply bag that replenishes ammo. And then finally, you have your heavy weapon, which is essentially the ult of your class. This is a weapon that has a very limited amount of ammo and or a time restraint on it that you can only pull out every few minutes. And these weapons can be anything from RPGs, machine guns, snipers, basically anything that can drop people very, very quickly. And once again, every single one of these classes feels very different and provides a completely unique gameplay experience. And then also very similar to the campaign, all of these classes have skill trees, so you can find a class that you like, start grinding through the ranks, and then upgrade the classes accordingly. Now, as if that wasn't enough for a $35 game, there's a total of 27 weapons in the game, and 20 of those you can actually go in and fully customize to your liking. The only 7 weapons that you can't customize are the heavy weapons, which obviously you would not be able to customize at all. But all of the primary and secondary weapons you can customize to a pretty dramatic degree. You can put sights, extended mags, you know, completely different camos, paint jobs, suppressors, everything you can imagine you can put on these weapons. I have to say, I'm thoroughly impressed with this game. I was not really expecting all that much. I didn't think it was going to be a horrible game, but I really just didn't expect to have any desire to put any more than like 5 or 6 hours into the game, but I can promise you I will be putting much more than that. Once again, this game does feel like a full AAA title to me, so for $35, I would say this is a really good deal. So if you guys are wanting to get this game for yourself, make sure to use my support a creator code or my link down in the description below. It won't cost you anything extra, but it will help me out a lot. But thank you guys for checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys for the support. Peace out.
compass, Helios, Pandora, and space. My motto wheel takes me all over the place. And wherever I go, I win minds and hearts. Don't need to climb stairs while I'm climbing these charts. Lilith, Roland, the other two dudes didn't come to my birthday party. Rude, but they all found time to go fight the warrior. Like, this would be like some...